I'd like to call this meeting to order. The committee meeting, Human Resources and Education meeting, Thursday, July 10th, 2025. Ms. Coakley, will you please call roll?
Ms. Martin.
Here.
Mr. Green. Ms. Hanson. Ms. Rutherford. Ms. Fauntleroy. Mr. Harrell. Ms. Moore. Dr. Peterson. Ms. Baker. Ms. McCollum. Ms. Lamy. Ms. Hurstis. Mr. Breaux. Ms. Kuzan. Ms. Rufino Gallagher.
All right, so we do need to have an election to elect someone to chair this meeting. Okay. Can we open the floor for nominations? Okay. Okay. Any, there's an order. Any other nominations? Can I get a motion to close the nominations? Ms. Hanson. And a second, Ms. Fauntleroy. All right. Any questions from the board or comments from the public? All right. All those in favor of closing the nominations, please say aye. Any opposed? All right. So we will do a roll call, just a show of hands.
You could just say all in favor.
All in favor of letting me run the meeting? Whatever. Yeah, all right, let's do this. We will dispense with the invocation and pledge of allegiance, since that was done at our previous meeting. Any visitors, board members would like to recognize? Me. Ms. Lamy?
I did not see my sweet favorite friend, Joe West, who is an amazing interpreter. And my second, third, and fourth year of teaching, she was an interpreter in my classroom. I got to cry. And we got to be like best friends. And because of her, I continued to teach my students sign language for the rest of my teaching career. And just seeing her, I didn't even see her the whole first meeting. And my heart is just so happy to see her. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Ms. Hanson?
I'd like to recognize an incredible teacher that I had the pleasure of working with at Covington High School, Vance Lynch. He runs their multimedia, all of the techie stuff. He does everything techie. He makes sure all the kids get the certifications they need to get, and they have a great time running the multimedia jumbotron at not just football games, but soccer games and all kinds of events at Covington High School. So great to see you here, Vance. And thanks for what you do for all of our students in our schooling community.
Anyone else? All right. Oh, Mr. Harrell.
Could we maybe get her to interpret Ms. Hurstis's comments? Just Ms. Hurstis, when she gets, because I'd like to see.
Yeah, how do you say liver and aquarium?
Okay, moving on. We have the approval of the minutes for the meeting held on June 5th. Do I have a motion? Ms. Gallagher, do I have a second? Ms. Hanson? Any public comments? Comments from the board? Please vote. And that passes with 8 yeas and 1 abstention. Next, we have from Human Resources, Mr. Alfonso.
Thank you, Ms. Martin, Superintendent Jabby, and board. I know I don't have an update here before I start the resignation report, but I just have to say that, certificated staff particularly onboarded approximately 260 new employees, and I have to give Mr. Bodie credit because I kind of took a step back a little bit. He worked with the ladies and they onboarded 260 and it was seamless. So I'm very proud of that. And Belinda and her staff, they keep continuing they constantly hiring people in the support staff. So I want to thank both of them. So the resignation report before you, if you look at it, as you can see, it's a 5-year trend. Just please understand this is for certificated staff only. That's all the LDOE requires. I know support staff are very important. But what I did, we have roughly about 3,050 certificated staff. And if you look at it, this year we had last year, had 142 basically resignations. If you go back to 2021, it was 4.5, and we had a major spike, obviously in 21, 22, we all know what that was, went to 7%. but now we're back to the 2021 numbers, so we're very proud of that. So overall, this year, we're 4.6%, last year, I keep saying this year, I'm sorry. Last year to 4.6 resignation, but I did take the liberty of looking at the resignations of support staff and put both of them together. And we're roughly about a 7 to 8% retention rate, which is astronomical. And just to mention something, I was kind of going over this report with Mr. Davis, because everybody knows he came from the private sector. And he said that, basically retaining 92 to 93% of your employees, he said it's unheard of. So this information you have right before you may not mean a lot to a lot of people, but this is information that we use, and we have to report it to the LDOE.
Any questions from board members? Okay. Mr. Bro, you're first.
Thank you. Just saying that you have this many resignations is not very meaningful without percentage. If you don't know how many employees and you lose 8, well, if you had 8 employees, that's traumatic. But if you had, 1,000 employees and you lose 8, then that's very good.
Yes, sir.
So in order to make this meaningful, we really need to have a percentage.
I did that, sir. We lost 142 last year out of 3,047, which is 4.6%.
But I mean for each school.
Oh, each school, well, yeah, you could go through it, but
Because,
We're being global with
I'm
it.
looking at one school here that really stands out, but then, compared to others. And then the Harrison Curriculum Center is always losing a lot of people, but I don't know what percentage we're losing and why. If you find that you're losing 30% at one school and you're only losing 5% at all the others, well, that overall district score not telling you what you need to know. Right? You're losing 30% at that one school. So just in the future, if we could have a breakdown on each school, then we can obviously see where the problem areas are.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Gallagher?
So, I have some of the same questions, but at Harrison Curriculum, obviously this past year was only 5, and I'm assuming the 24 was COVID year, right?
Well, please understand, Harrison is a base, it's not a school, so.
Right.
We base, all the speech therapists, all
Okay,
the
that's what
APE, all the, so that's a lot of job classes.
Well, that's what I
there.
was thinking, I was like, man, they got a lot of teachers at Harrison Curriculum Center.
No,
So that's
no.
what I was trying to figure out, because just by looking at this, it doesn't give all that, so I didn't know the answer, so
Just-
thank you for
yeah,
that.
You're welcome. But just to answer your question, it's like that 21, 22, you see COVID, as the pony up with Ms. Gardner saying, that's the people who have intimate working with children, and during that time, they didn't want that type of, they didn't want to do that type of teaching. So that's why it was spiked that high.
And I will go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. Is there a consistency on why we have such a high turnover at Slidell High School as far as in your exit interviews? You do not have to give it publicly. I'm just saying, that's a pretty high number at one school to consistently have that much turnover.
That's a bigger number than all others, but you got to imagine their staff, they've got over 100 staff there. That's a pretty big staff. So, I would tell you from a regular ed staff, I could tell you off the top of my head, their allotment's 92. And then you add in their sped staff, which Ms. Gardner could probably tell you more there. They're probably in 120 to 130 range of teachers at that school. So it is a big number.
Right, but when you say that, if you look at Mandeville High School, it's got to have more teachers than that, and they have 19 in the same time they've done 51. I feel like that's a huge problem somewhere.
Yeah, you have a logical point. Yeah, I get
So
your
that's
point.
what
Yeah.
I'm, and I don't know the answer, but I'm saying, I would like to know if it's consistently she says, she's the same thing, then maybe we got to fix the problem and we won't have that. I don't know the answer to the question, I'm just asking it.
Yeah, the issue with that is when we do our exit surveys, it's anonymous. So we don't know
Gotcha.
where it's coming from at all. But we do look at the numbers, talk as a staff, we know what's going on, and we try to address the problems.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Lammy?
Mine was more of a comment, and I was just gonna say they have a lot of old teachers at Slidell High. I really
Tammy.
think, I really do think, no,
you're gonna
but
make some people
seriously though, I'm just saying, I think that could be part of it, but I also was going to say, I thought elementary life was hard. I always thought that high school and middle school teachers had it made with an hour of planning and all that nonsense they get. But look at every single high school on here. I think it's driving people to their grave. I mean, it's not good. So anyway, it was just a joke, but.
Mr. Harrell.
How many teachers total do we have at Sixth Ward Elementary?
I don't have the number in front of me, but I can get it to you.
Just, I mean, there's,
Approximate, you approximate your sixth ward, you could probably go, I think it's 3 per grade level in that range. Yeah, 3 per grade level.
I mean, that's impressive. Not one resignation in the last, what,
Oh,
4 years?
I can tell you, up until job fair, they didn't have a vacancy this year either.
That's impressive. So congratulations to Sixth Ward.
Yeah.
Next is the exit interview report.
Yeah, bear with me a little bit here. So the exit interview report is it was kind of contentious in HR because the last 2 years, we didn't get any data. So which led us to go back to the drawing board, and I kind of got with the C&I staff to help me make this a better thing to roll out to our employees. So the exit interview report consists of data that is required to report to the state, to the LDOE. The last 2 years, we didn't get any, like I just said. That led us to evaluate our process and reach out to the LDOE and to other systems for feedback. So when I reached out to the LDOE, I asked them, which systems do you get the most data from? Because last year when we put ours in, I had to call them and say, we don't have anything. So they didn't, so if something, they would have gave us a little ding on a report. But, so they gave me the names of the systems, so I reached out to all of them, and all of them did theirs basically with virtual. So Katie Fuller, I got with Katie Fuller, we were mailing ours out, so we're depending upon them. We mailed it out, depending on them to mail it back. Now, we gave them a self-addressed envelope and all that good stuff. So, one particular parish who had the most feedback told me they were only getting 15% of their employees to return this, and they were doing it through a Google Doc, which we do now. So we developed this document, so Mr. Bodie, when he does his retirement counseling, which I have to give a plug there, we're one of the only systems in this state that does individual retirement counseling with our employees. When he does retirement counseling, we have a document we give them with the link to, go on and fill out this survey. And also when a person exits us, let me back up. When they get a discontinuance at a school, the principal gives them the link. So and in the past, we did not capture retirees. So we're able to get more data to report to the state. As you see the data here, we had 181 resignation exit interviews questionnaires sent out. Now keep in mind, the state told me this individual parish it was the best, and they only got 15%. So this year, we got 27.6% responses, which is good. So maybe we'll be the state leader this year. So we're still at the planning stages of how we're going to use this data, because in the past few years, we didn't have any data to sit down and talk to see how we're going to address these concerns. But we're in the planning stages of that. But one thing that's very important here to understand is that we thought that if we captured the retirees, most of the retirees, they could give us good information because they've been with us so long, and they can give us some information that'll help us grow as a system. So this is the report before you, the numbers that we're going to report to the LDOE this year.
Any questions from board members? Ms. Hursis.
Congrats on the return on that. Yeah, because I mean, I know a lot of times, when people leave, they're like, see ya. Yeah, I'm like, I'm done. Who wants to be bothered? So I think that's great that you're getting any feedback. But I do have to say, I am, and look, I love St. Tammany Parish. I hear great things, but then we also always, you're going to hear some negative. I am a little concerned, though, at some of the numbers. Overall, it seems healthy, but we do have a bit of minimal amount and not at all. especially down at the bottom, based on my experiences, what I recommend, you've got 8, but of course it's 24 at a large amount, but still 8, not at all as far as recommending, and I'm just a little concerned. So I'm thinking, where are we going wrong? You got 10 at a minimal amount of the district provide an opportunity for effective teamwork and collaboration. So there are a few that I'm like, we could do better at. So I'm sure that y'all will look at this and, like you said, work on some of these. Obviously, since it's anonymous, that they're gonna give their honest answer, I wish there was a way to get it to where you would know, like, what schools, what grades, or things like that, so you would know exactly pinpoint where you need to work on. But, at least you're getting an honest answer. But there was just, to me, this is great feedback. Just definitely some things that, as a parish, we could probably work on a little bit. But I looked at our school overall, on the Louisiana website, and our numbers look good. So considering everything, St. Tammany's impressive.
Thank you.
Mr. Breaux?
I just want to commend you. This is good data. It's good that we have some data. I mean, going from 0 to 25% response, that's commendable. And I think we have something that we can use, and hopefully we can act upon. So thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, next we have consideration of a new job description, educational interpreter provisional.
Ms. Martin, may I ask you if you can read all 3 of the C, D, and E, and we can do them together, and I can explain, and I can turn it over to Belinda Pennison, because they all kind of relate to one another?
Sure, of course. The second is also educational interpreter qualified, and the third is educational interpreter highly qualified. Do I have a motion to bring these to the floor? Ms. Lammy, do I have a second? Ms. Gallagher?
I just have a couple comments regarding these before I call Ms. Pennison to the podium. These are just updates to our current job descriptions. We update these job descriptions to align with LDOE standards. These are not new. And then also, these are not creating any new jobs. So it's all we're doing is updating it to make sure we align with the LDOE. So at this time, and Ms. Gardner can answer questions about this, and so can Ms. Pennison. Belinda?
Go ahead, and then I'll call for public
I'm sorry.
comment. Oh, I thought you were going to explain something.
Oh, did you need me to
Yeah.
present? Yes. So with the help of Ms. Jo Brown and the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Department, there was a transition to our existing positions that we have, which are now called interpreter aides, to transition them over to educational interpreters. And each of those levels require different certifications and certificates in education. So those new job descriptions matched what the Department of Education requires for that. And so Ms. Jo did a lot of work on that. And then I also wanted to recognize Sue Lynch, who is a teacher for our deaf and hard of hearing. I'm so worried I'm gonna say that wrong. Deaf and hard of hearing program. I have tremendous respect for these ladies and for what they do, but this was a needed update to those positions. We actually have 7 employees in these job classes. And this was much needed to transition to that next level.
Thank you. First, do I have any public comments? All right, any questions from board members? Ms. Hanson? Oh, apologize, Ms. Hanson. Ms. Lammy, you're first.
I just wanted to say thank you for doing the work, and I'm proud that we have these services for our students. And I definitely think that we're way behind on updating this. This should have been done a really long time ago, but better late than never, so thank you very much for your work.
Ms. Hanson?
Just a little bit more. So each of these, it's basically the same type of job or position, but you've changed the title to align, so it now says educational.
Correct.
Deaf and hard of hearing interpreter. And, okay, secondly, provisional, qualified, and highly qualified. So as you hire them, they fall into one of those classifications?
based
Okay.
based on the score of their test. Ms. Joe, you want to speak on that?
A provisional would be someone who came into the system without all the testing scores that they need to get, but we see that they have the skills needed because this is an area where we have a big shortage. And there's not a lot of people knocking down our doors for, to work. And so provisional would be someone that we would give an evaluation to, but they don't yet have the certifications they need, so they would come in as provisional. The highly qualified would have the test scores that they need, but they might have a AA degree. And then the highly qualified would have at least a BA degree and all the certifications they need.
So does that also impact as far as salary and
Yes, ma'am.
term of contract or anything like that? Just
Not-
salary?
Not the term of contract, but each level has a different salary
Salary structure?
compensation.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Gallagher.
Question real quick. So the provisional person, they come in, should they be working towards being the next step of qualified? Do we have a timeline on when they can be that or not?
Yeah, well, the state has a timeline and Louisiana Commission for the Deaf has a timeline that we have to follow. And it's provisional is, I think, either 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Then they can reapply for an extra year if they have to. But yeah, and they'll also have to be under a mentorship until they meet the criteria on, it's a test called the EIPA. There's a performance and then a written test.
Okay.
And it's very hard, but they will have to take that until they get the score they need to move up to the next level.
And then after, say, I guess the 4 years, what you're saying, then we would have to find somebody else because we can't keep them?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That stinks, but.
Mr. Brown.
This is just a point of order. Just a point of order, and I believe since there are 3 items on the agenda, we have to vote on all 3. So I move that we consider item C and approve item C.
We already have a motion and a second on that, right? So we can just.
Well, I thought we were combining them, so,
She just made a motion. She didn't say a motion for what?
okay, well,
Just to talk about all 3 together.
right. And we've talked about
To
it. I
bring them
don't
to the
remember the
floor.
motion, but I move that we accept item C.
Do I have a second? Ms. Hanson? All right, do I have any public comments? Any board comments just on item C before we vote? All right, everyone, please vote on item C. That passes unanimously. Do I have a motion to accept item D?
Item D, please.
Mr. Bro, second by Ms. Lammy. Any public comments? Board comments or questions? Everyone, please vote on item D. That also passes unanimously.
Item E, please.
Mr. Bro makes the motion to consider item E as written. Ms. Lammy is my second. Any public comments? Board questions or comments? Everyone, please vote.
All those in favor say aye, and I can click a button.
All right, and that also passes unanimously. Next is a monthly transportation report.
Your monthly transportation report is on board docs. Mr. Burmaster is on vacation, but I can answer any questions.
Questions from board members? All right, thank you. Next is the monthly risk management report.
Your monthly risk management report is before you on board docs, and Mr. Davis is here to answer any questions.
Do I have any questions or comments from board members? All right, thank you. Next is our CNI update from Dr. Langlois.
This
I'm gonna fix y'all for next week.
I know, I'm channeling Mary. Good evening, Chairwoman Martin, members of the board, Mr. Javia. So a few things. Mr. Javia mentioned new teacher induction. We finished that this week. I have to say, the curriculum team, our curriculum specialists, our supervisors, have worked tirelessly for months preparing this. Wendy Stein, Chantel Smith, the planning and organization that they do, Mr. Gallagher for hosting us and his staff at North Shore, the students for welcoming us, IT, Mr. Bouillon and his team for helping us with all of our tech needs is just amazing. We even had administrators and teachers that came and helped, you know, present for teachers, because everything, it's all hands on deck to make sure that our teachers are ready and have everything they need for that first day of school. Just the energy is amazing. I highly encourage you, if you are available, come next July. It's fun, it's great, it's just such a great moment. So on that, when we do the overall general welcome in the auditorium, absolutely, yes ma'am. I will make sure that I let y'all know the time and the date. Yes, please come. The other thing is, last month, we brought to you the pupil progression recommendations for the 25-26 school year that y'all voted on. After that, between last meeting and this meeting, the State Department released the template for this year, so we have updated everything, and that is on board docs for you, so you can see the 25-26 school year. If you remember, the things in black are the pieces that have to be in the plan from the state, and the parts in blue is what we locally adopt, including the recommendations that we passed. But I'm going to turn it over right now to Ms. Hebler. We have a few updates in relation to literacy, summer school participation, and our psychology companion guide update. Thank you.
Good evening, board members, Mr. Javia, and guests. I'm going to share some literacy updates based on our end-of-the-year literacy screener. In Louisiana, we use the DIBELS literacy screener for all kindergarten through third grade students. This graphic compares kindergarten through third grade students beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year DIBELS results. Notice as the years progressed, the percentage of students in the red and yellow categories decreased in all grade levels. When comparing proficient students, which is our green and blue, from beginning of the year to end of the year, kindergarten grew 34%, first grade 23%, second grade 13%, and third grade 6%. St. Tammany Parish Schools students are growing in literacy proficiency thanks to the hard work and dedication to our employees, students, and families that never stopped working hard all year. This graphic compares St. Tammany Parish Public Schools to the state. When end-of-the-year results from 24-25 are compared with state averages, notice how St. Tammany Parish Schools are outperforming students statewide in every grade. When comparing St. Tammany Public Schools to the nation, these are the results for overall percentage of students in all grades in each performance level. St. Tammany Parish Public Schools students are outperforming students nationwide. We are proud of the hard work and dedication of our employees and students. This graphic shows a 3-year trend. This year, St. Tammany students were at 72% overall at or above benchmark. This is a 9% increase from last year. We were truly champions of literacy this year. Yes. As mentioned in a previous literacy update presentation, Legislative Act 422 requires third grade literacy proficiency for promotion and prohibits third grade students from being promoted to the fourth grade if they score at the lowest level, which is well below benchmark on the end of the year literacy screener. Students had 3 opportunities to score higher than well below benchmark on the end of the year screener. The first opportunity was in April, where we tested all students in kindergarten through third grade. Students scoring in the red category in April continued to receive interventions. Third grade students not qualifying for a good cause exemption were retested in May during the last week of school. Any third grade student that still scored well below benchmark and did not have a good cause exemption approved were screened a 3rd time in June after optional summer learning opportunities were provided. And as we stated before, the state does allow for some good cause exemptions for certain students. So what impact did this have on our St. Tammany third graders? At our end of the year, Dibbles end of the year results, 16% of our third grade students scored well below. Of those students who scored well below, 54% of them were qualified and were approved for a good cause exemption. Of the remaining of those who did not have a good cause exemption and were still well below, 47% of those scored above well below in either May or June. So at the end of June, 3.8% of third grade students remain well below on Dibbles and have not qualified for a good cause exemption. Therefore, also approximately 1.8% of our third graders may be retained solely on Dibbles performance, because there are some students who may have other situations that require them to be retained besides just Dibbles solely. Now I will turn it over to Ms. Barrow, who has some summer school updates.
Superintendent Davia, board members, good evening. Oh, went back. Okay, wait, where'd it go? I did. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. So this summer, we hosted summer school for kindergarten through sixth grade on 2 sites, Florida Avenue Elementary and Magnolia Trace. We had 20 teachers and 260 students in K-6 enrolled. Kindergarten through sixth grade students had the opportunity to recover 1 course deficiency. 7th through 12th grade summer school was held virtually. In 7th and 8th grade, we had 13 teachers and 199 students enrolled. 7th and 8th grade students had the opportunity to recover up to 2 courses. In 9th through 12th grade, we had 27 teachers and 615 students enrolled. 9th through 12th grade students had the opportunity to recover 1 Carnegie unit or 2 half credits. Now, Ms. Holt will give us an update on psychology. I'll let you do that.
Oh, thanks. Good evening, Chairwoman, Ms. Martin, board members, Superintendent Javia. As part of our ongoing commitment to providing the highest quality educational experience for our students, I have the pleasure to share with you the update of the support for the newly adopted textbooks used as a resource in our high school psychology curriculum. Recognizing the benefits of providing structured guidance for both educators and students, the dedicated psychology teachers from across our district collaboratively developed a companion guide to support the newly adopted psychology textbooks. This guide is designed and aligned with the national standards for high school psychology curricula and offers teachers a clear, structured support as they navigate the complex texts and sensitive content. This companion guide was shared and reviewed during a recent community forum, which included board representation from Ms. McCullum and Ms. Hurstis. We are grateful for their presence and engagement. The forum provided valuable feedback, which was thoughtfully considered and integrated, ultimately strengthening the guide's clarity, accessibility, and instructional impact. The work of the committee and the guidance provided in the companion guide will be communicated directly with parents through the course syllabus and the programs of study so that families can make informed decisions when choosing elective courses. These steps are intended to provide clarity and awareness while maintaining a strong partnership with families. Our goal remains clear: to support students as they pursue their academic goals while equipping teachers with the tools they need to deliver content responsibly, sensitively, and aligned with the assessed standards. Above all, I want to take a moment to express my sincere appreciation for our teachers whose dedication, professionalism, and commitment to both students and the community made this work possible. Their proactive approach exemplifies what it means to provide both academic excellence with community trust. Thank you for your continued support.
Do I have any, thank you. Do I have any questions from board members? Ms. Hanson?
I think Ms. Hebler knows mine's going to be about Dibbles. So when you say 3.8% of the students who were still well below and did not qualify for good cause exemption, how many students does that physically impact?
That was 105.
105 students are being retained then?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So there was 105 who were still well below on DIVLs and didn't qualify for a good cause. However, 1.8% are the ones who are doing solely, who might be retained solely on DIVLs. So of the 2%, they had some students who also failed pupil progression or had
Okay.
attendance or other issues, or SBLC, where the child may have been, failed the DIBELS, and the parents and the SBLC committee decided, you know what, this child might need to be retained. So it was an SBLC decision to not retest them and still have them be retained, but it wasn't solely on DIBELS.
Okay, so.
So
in-
53 students was solely on, maybe solely on DIBELS. However,
Perhaps.
we are still collecting good cause exemptions from between now and the start of school. So we may
Okay,
be still-
so approximately 53 out of how many total
Two-
third graders do we have?
2,747.
Two. Okay, so that's good. I mean, obviously, it's only, at this point, perhaps impacting 53.
Correct.
And I know Dr. Langwin and I have spoken about this too, but, you know, and I know y'all are still collecting that data.
Yes.
But in terms of how many past pupil progression have basic or above on LEAP, but didn't have the DIBELS score and
Correct.
didn't qualify for a good, you know, that may be, maybe 20 it may end up being. But that is a concern of mine. I know it would be of any of y'all's. Your child, your grandchild is being held behind, but they pass pupil progression and they have a basic or above, and the state's using this screener as opposed to a reading assessment, let's say, like Mississippi uses, which is a true reading assessment. So I think that would be of really good data for us to bring to the state, you know, because if it impacts children in a negative, they have to repeat the entire grade level again, you know, that can negatively impact the children, as we know.
And because we've received their LEAP scores, we went through and looked at that. So that number of 53 is taking all of that data point into consideration.
Okay, so these 53 didn't pass the,
Correct.
didn't make basic or above on,
It has to be mastery.
Mastery.
It's not basic,
Mastery.
it's mastery. If it was basic, it would be even less students, but it's mastery
but they, okay.
in reading.
In reading. Look, I'm not debating on how important reading is, because if they don't have it very strong right now, then it just gets more difficult as they get older, as the content in the other grades get more complex. I'm just worried about, again, we're using DIBELS as opposed to a true reading assessment. So like, which is Mississippi is using, which has helped them to, you know, improve and made it, as far as, you know, aligned with the fact that we need to hold them in the third grade. Okay, thank you very much for that data. Thank you, Ms. Hebler.
Dr. Peterson?
Yes, I want to refer to that fourth panel that you have up there, the July 10th school board meeting, which is today. It's a psychology companion guide presentation. I don't really see a presentation for the psychology curriculum guide. Is there something I'm missing or other people saw that I didn't see?
It was an update just letting you know that it's been completed, it is available, and it's there.
And where is it?
It's the slide 13 of the PowerPoint. Those dates is that, so it was an update. The actual, and we can email you the companion guide, that's not a problem at
I
all.
think we should look at it before we approve it.
Well, this is an update.
It's updating,
yes,
okay,
sir,
so
but
we're
we
getting
can-
there.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the update, so, well, please,
The approved, absolutely.
copy of that, thank you so much.
Ms. Gallagher?
So my question is gonna come on the, for summer school, for, of course, y'all know I'm not a fan of virtual, but that's irrelevant. So for the 7th and 8th graders, is it the same thing that the teachers are just there if they need help, or is there actually a class that they have to attend virtually? How does that work?
There's actually a class in Edgenuity where they have to complete certain sections, and it has an objective for each day and each lesson that they have to complete. There's a
Right, but like the
there-
teacher doesn't sit there all day and like teach for whatever
No.
time they're there, okay?
No, they do have office hours, they're available certain times, and they have to make themselves available for a large part of the day for those
Okay.
students.
So I have two things in that. So if I did my math right, which, don't quote me on it, it was like 15 kids per teacher for 7th and 8th grade and 22 per high school. So why did we have so many less kids for junior high if the teacher's not like teaching, like they're just there for office hours with less, like I don't understand that part, so that's.
It would be
the
the
first question.
variety of subject areas. In high school,
Okay.
you only have those core four available in junior high.
Okay.
And in high school, you have, algebra, biology,
Okay.
environmental, like those credits.
And then of the students K through 12 that were enrolled, did we have, how many successfully completed or got the credits that they were attempting to get?
So K to 6, the information about what they completed will go back to the school, and all of those have to be SBLC meetings where they decide whether to promote them or not,
Okay.
based on the data that they were given from what they did in summer school.
And then
For
before
the
you go, when does that
courses-
take place? Because like school starts in 5 weeks.
As soon as administrators return, they should be making contact with
Okay.
parents.
Okay.
We fielded some calls today, actually,
Okay.
with parents who had emailed the principal and are starting to set them up.
Okay.
For 7th and 8th, that information is being sent to the schools, and they will contact the parents and let them know. I don't have all of the data on exactly how many credits were earned yet. That comes
Well,
from
each
Edgenuity.
kid, if I'm understood, 7th and 8th, you can only get one credit.
7th and 8th could earn 2.
Okay, so we don't know if all 199 students, whatever they were enrolled in, actually passed
Some of
yet.
them could have been there for just one, some of them could, that max they could do is 2.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, so we don't have the numbers yet of the 199 students,
No.
if they've passed their classes or not.
No,
or
we
if they're
don't
gonna
have
to
them, because
retain
it
again.
just ended, and
Okay,
we're waiting for Dr. Drosh to give us that number.
and that would be the same for high school as well?
Yes.
Okay.
It's all
Is
through
there a
Edgenuity.
possibility when we would have that by next week?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
think so.
I didn't know how long that would take, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
As soon as we get it, we'll get it to you.
Okay, thanks.
Ms. Hurstis.
Okay, I wanted to mention, well, first I want to say thank you for putting together the whole psychology committee and everything, and I want to thank all the teachers and that they got together to do that. And so I'm the reason for it. Okay, I'm just gonna fess up and say it. I'm the reason for it. Yeah, I know. Everybody knows because I made a big fuss about it. And the reason that I did it is because I'm green at this. I've never been a teacher before. I'm not in the education system. Some say that's, a negative or could be a positive. As to me being a board member, that I don't have that experience. But when I'm sitting up on a Saturday night and I'm spending 6 hours reading all this information on all these textbooks, and I'm reading this, I'm reading it online. I'm reading everything, and I'm reading from the books. I'm seeing huge sections about this. So I don't know that teachers are not particularly going word for word from a textbook and teaching this information. So please, teachers out there, don't take offense, okay? I don't know that you guys are not like going verbatim from a textbook. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they've got this huge section about this and they're doing this and blah, 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 blah. When honestly, they're putting their, I don't want to say spin, that's not the right word, but they're using their education, and they're taking, you know, their knowledge, and they're going by the national assessment, and they're going by the tests, and they're going by the national standards. So, and I'm probably not even saying this correctly, because again, I'm not in the education system. So, but you are using your professional expertise on this. And so I don't know this. You're not in my head, and I'm not in your head. So, again, don't take offense at this. I've learned a lesson on this, and I'm hoping, though, that when y'all did this exercise or this companion guide, that maybe, hopefully, y'all took something positive out of it. Maybe y'all made some new friends, or, hey, y'all are, you know, at an advantage. Y'all went through the book, you know, first, you know, than everybody else. So, yeah, you could say something. But, you know, I just wanted to say that I do feel more comfortable, though, with this, because I did feel what I was reading in the psychology book, that it was kind of going a little bit away from what I felt students should be learning. But the feedback that I got and that I read from the companion guide, I felt very comfortable. And I think the community is going to feel comfortable knowing that the teachers are going to be very professional with this subject that I was really mainly focused on, okay? So I'm going to shut up now.
I do want you to know the good things that did come out of this. It is hard for us to get, especially in May, at the end of the school year, teachers from 7 of 8 of our high schools together for an extended period of time to do this deep dive into the text. And so the collaboration that went into it, the sharing of best practices, the outcome was incredible. And we wouldn't have had that opportunity. So I do appreciate that we were able to afford that to them. And I know that they left feeling very confident with the new textbook, and they did make new connections. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Ms. Hurst, is also, look, us doing a companion guide is not new. Ms. Striderberger's over there. In English, especially ELA, there are some novels, they are great pieces of work, but there are some, not books, they have some very sensitive material that have to be understood, they have to be, we want to meet the needs of the community, we want to make sure we're open, and we learned a whole lot going through that process with the previous board, some pushback we got from the community, some pushback we got from board members, that wanted us to make sure that we were being sensitive and we understood the concerns of some of that material, if not discussed properly, can be taken way out of context, way out of context. So this is something we have no problem doing, and it's great to get feedback from you guys, from teachers, from parents, from community members. We had all kind of people come out for the literature to make sure that in ELA that we were meeting the need, and we were very sensitive, and we understood the challenges, and we helped teachers get through some tricky material, and that pays off now. So don't feel bad, and the teachers understand. I think they would rather have a companion guide because they know where they stand. They know the topics that could be slippery for whatever reason, and so I think it's very beneficial. So yeah, don't beat yourself up. You did fine.
Yeah. And it just helps parents and students make really great decisions about their course, offerings and the course choices and their electives. I mean, it's all about information and communication and being very transparent and elevating what our teachers do. I'm so glad you said that, because our teachers are amazing and they are fantastic at what they do. And I think it's an opportunity to showcase just that. So thank you.
All right, next is an update from Ms. Gardner.
All right, good evening, Board Member Superintendent Jabbia and Chair Martin. So this evening, I'm going to give a brief update about our early childhood department and where we are. We are continuing to admit students into our pre-K program. We have not yet hit our magic number, which is 1,000. But I do want to remind everyone, especially because it was kind of brought up earlier, that birth rates are down. So starting now, we're going to start seeing our numbers decline. So I know oftentimes it's kids are leaving St. Tammany Parish, that's what will end up on Facebook, but our birth rates are down. It's not people are fleeing and not coming. So we are low right now in LA4, but we're gonna hope to hit that number by the time August comes. It doesn't impact funding, that's just a number that we like to hit. So this, I also want to give 3 highlights from the department tonight. We'll begin with Suzanne Lynch, who played a key role in creating our new SWE website, and her dedication and vision played a crucial role in bringing this website to life. And then next, Ms. Montleon will come up and provide an overview of our 6th annual Summer Institute that we had, highlighting the impactful work and collaboration that it took. So we'll start with Ms. Lynch.
I am very honored to present to you all of the changes and highlights that we have brought about on the SWE website. I want to let you know that it is all live now, and you can see it for yourself at stpsb.org/SWE. So to be clear, this is an extension of the school board's main website. It is not a separate site. And we listened to parents and stakeholders, and we decided to streamline, become more concise, and simplify the website. The information on there from the district website, if it is SWE related, it actually seamlessly filters onto those SWE web pages now. And the purpose of this is to enable easier access for our parents and our stakeholders in accessing everything SWE related and not having to search for it on the main site. So one of the big things that we changed is we now have staff photos. We have a whole gallery that includes all of the SWE admin, coordinators, leads of all the departments, curriculum specialists, and IEP facilitators. And I do want to add that this was a collaborative project with Vance Lynch and Covington High School students in the Adobe certification class to make sure that these photos looked professional. Also, all of the news and galleries from St. Tammany Parish's website, if they have a SWE tag on it, they seamlessly filter onto the SWE web pages, so parents of our SWE students can go on and see exactly what's happening and all the great things that we are doing in the department. In addition, all of the videos that STPPS TV is putting on the website, those also stream over onto our website, so parents can see very quickly all of those things. And we also have added on upcoming events for the SWE program. So all of the great things that we do every single day for our students are now showcased right there on the website. And at a glance, parents know exactly what's happening and where so that they can show up and they can be there and support the kids as well. And we also have added a subscribe button, and that's at the top of the homepage. And so parents and community stakeholders can now request a monthly emailed newsletter where we also send those highlights to them of what's been happening that month and what great things are on the way. So in short, the information that we have on here is talented applications and guides are now available on the website. We have programming and learning model descriptions for all of our programs. We also have redirect links on our SWE pages to all of the St. Tammany Parish policies and procedures that are SWE related. We also have transition agencies and parent support groups there for the parents. So if they have more questions, then they can reach out to those agencies and get even more support for their children. We also have a list of frequently asked questions and answers. And we also have all of those commonly used acronyms that we use in the SWE department that sometimes can be overwhelming. So if they get too overwhelmed, they can go to that and check. So that is the conclusion of my presentation. Okay. Go ahead.
I don't have one.
You have a video.
Mhm. Okay, good evening. I am happy to share with you some highlights from our 6th annual Summer Institute. 476 teachers, paras, and administrators participated. It was thrilling to see educators from all over our district collaborating and exploring a multitude of topics all in one location. I would like to thank everyone who worked so hard to make this event such a success, including our federal programs coordinators, our Summer Institute committees, and all of our presenters. Please watch this short video compiled by our wonderful Channel 13 team. Summer Institute is where we have a variety of courses that educators from all over our district can participate. We have paraprofessionals, teachers, administrators, and we offer all kinds of courses that they can come and sign up. Every year we do a theme. This year's theme has been so much fun for our department and the decorating and everything. And the theme is called Prepare for Liftoff, a Galaxy of Learning. So it's kind of a space theme.
From these professional learning experiences, I plan to incorporate it into my teaching to help my students learn. Also, I plan to use it to collaborate with teachers on campus and with other colleagues across the district to make our district as a whole become better and become unified as one district.
Tips I can take from this to apply to campus is just know that every day is a journey. Every day is different, but take the things that you've learned here to help your students grow, help your faculty and staff grow, and just always find different ways to do things and make it new, fun, and exciting.
The food trucks are amazing. The food is great, and just the convenience of having them here and being able to sit and collaborate with teachers in kind of an informal setting was amazing.
Whatever they take away is going to impact our students. We have, 37,000 students now, so we have over 400, almost 500 people here. So hopefully whatever they're doing today is going to go back and impact our students. That's the main goal, is that they're taking away something that can increase the student achievement in our classrooms.
Kim, why did somebody ask me if I was that thing dressed up in that suit? Somebody asked me that. Ms. Jackie, was that you? I'm like, no, that was not me.
It was him, y'all. That'd have been fun though, in disguise. I also want to say for the website, because we often get about contact information. So when they visit the SWE website, our contact information is there if they need to reach out to anyone in any one of the departments. So finally, I'm excited to spotlight our first ever St. Tammany Parish Leader in Me Symposium. The purpose of this event was to bring together schools from each learning community to exchange ideas, provide feedback, and most of all, emphasize the importance of teaching leadership habits across pre-K through 12th grade. Ensuring that it's seamless, that it's continuous, and that all of our students are getting the experience. So Channel 13 produced a video for us of all 8 symposiums, and we'll watch that now. This year, for the first time, we hosted a local mini symposium throughout St. Tammany Parish to be able to show administrators and teachers what Leader in Me should look like when it's implemented effectively on a campus.
The purpose of this was to give teachers insight on how Leader in Me actually works, how we are going from teachers leading the classrooms and the different things that we have on campus to students becoming leaders and taking on that role, full leadership.
It's been very successful at the school. It's been helping our school a lot. It's been increasing behavior, attendance, it's been setting goals. Very important to us, so we are trying to make it as nice as possible so we can give the best information.
The teacher really does care about the student.
What some of the participants saw were student lighthouse teams and panels, and they were able to discuss how the students have a voice in making decisions of what happens on a campus. They were able to hear teacher voice and how teacher voice now impacts what happens on a campus. And through that entire process, the school is moving in a better direction of teaching the habits from the adults to the kids to the parents.
but they also got to tour the entire school and see that the boards that we have put up and see how we're doing binders of Leader in Me in our classrooms. And I just think it was very nice for them to look into like a little piece of what our school is like so they can bring it back to their school.
So through this process, we have allowed teachers and administrators to visit other schools in other states that have been named lighthouse schools so that they can see the end result, which is pure exemplar. What we did is this time is backed up a little bit to let them see when a year has been implemented what it should look like at the end of 1 year, because it's baby steps to get to a lighthouse school.
It's very exciting because most kids out of school are like nervous and excited. But it's also very fun to have other teachers and people coming to our school to implement stuff from our school and their school, so it's fun.
Every single student on this campus today had a job to do, and they knew it, and they were excited about it, and they were happy to come to school today. And again, that's what we want. We want kids to be happy to come to school.
It was very important for teachers to see students having a voice and being active participants in their learning, because once they take ownership in it, we have seen those goals achieved at high levels because students are owning their own learning and being part of that process.
For me as a teacher, I'm always wanting to be in control, right? But to step back and let my students take on the role of being leaders, it's important because it lets them know, one, they have a voice, which is our habit, and two, it just kind of takes them out of their comfort zone and challenges them.
I take a lot of pride in what I do.
Another goal that we had was to allow feeder systems to understand what students were receiving through the Leader in Me process at one school to make sure that they received it at the next school so there was not a break in the chain.
With the district, I feel like it's really important because if we can start kids younger with, learning these 7 habits and learning how to implement them, then it will also make it easier for us to implement them into daily lives in high school as well. The main purpose was to answer as many questions as we could about our experience at Vanderbilt High, and it's still new for us, but it's new for a lot of teachers. So we're trying to share our experience in the do's and the don'ts, what worked for us, what didn't, and how we can hopefully inspire other schools.
So I often say it's not another thing to do. Leader in Me is the thing to do because it impacts teaching, it impacts student academics, and it just impacts the culture of your school. That concludes my update.
Well, thank you for that. Do I have any comments or questions from the board? Dr. Peterson, you're first.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate, and Ms. Gardner, I want to thank you for the efforts of yourself and your staff for going that extra mile. I mean, the entire program, the Leader in Me, has just, I think it's just blossomed in our schools and our students. And it's at a level it's not like, take the test, here's the score. It's at a higher level. And I can really appreciate that because that's what makes the campuses and our schools worth more than just any other school, I guess. So that said, I do believe that student engagement, which is what it's all about, and leadership through that engagement, that establishes pride and ownership. And if students have ownership in their schools, then the pride is there. And those intrinsic things are just invaluable. And I think your program that you put in is that's the highway to those good things. And I certainly like your website because it invites parents. I can't tell you how many, over the years, how many people just call and want information. And they want, how do I do this? Where do I go? Who do I talk? And your website it's there. That's going to be a tremendous aid to people. So I think you've got a model department, and I think it's stellar. And I think all the other departments can learn something from what you're doing. Thank you. I'll tell you that.
Ms. Gallagher.
I'm only going to tell Steve something.
I will say too, the stuff that y'all have presented is amazing. My only 2 things are like, one, for the Leader in Me symposium y'all did, I've been very absent on my emails a little bit. Like, could we go to those things just to sit in?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to know, like, you have to remind me more than once.
Okay.
Of when they are to go. For the, I don't know who presented this one.
Summer
The-
Institute?
Yes, can we go to that too? Like, is there a list of like things you learned that's like, I mean, I think it would just be interesting. Like, we're never gonna sit in their shoes, or maybe some of y'all have sat in the teacher's shoes, but just for some of us to kind of see what other things that are out there.
Yeah, so for Summer Institute, there's a website right before Summer Institute that teachers can go on and sign up for all the courses that they want to sit through throughout the 2 days that they're there.
Okay.
So it's an hour and 45 minutes, hour and a half sessions, and you just sign up, so all day you're going to different sessions. So, and then when you get there, it's also on the wall. I don't know if you saw the video, the lady kind of looking. Yeah, so those are all the courses that you can pick to go sit in with the presenters.
Would I know what website it is?
Yeah, it's a app on your phone that you do it, but next year I'll make sure y'all have it all.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll send you a reminder.
And just for the people who went, it seemed to be a lot of participation in that. Just, look, I know teachers want their summers off, but just to take the 2 days out of a random summer to go to attend that, to better yourselves, to help better our kids is amazing. So, kudos to that. And I do like the website, like it's you're your own school. Like every school has a website.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get, so it's that.
And that was the point of it, because our suite
Right.
department's really big.
Right. And while I know you called point of order early on, Mr. Peterson, I'm going to throw a stab at this, and I think the lady in red, I forget her name, is the perfect person to create the app instead of the GoFan. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. My bad.
Miss
I'm
Lammy.
sorry. You shouldn't be that good and then present, so I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for your presentation. The website's fabulous. I'm excited about that. But you know how I feel about Leader in Me, and every time I see something, I'm so excited. So I'm glad it's here, and thank you. That's it.
Dr. Peterson?
Last thing, I just wanted to say that you mentioned the lighthouse activity and schools that are trying to become lighthouse schools. And I attended one of the functions of the lighthouse at high school, at Pearl River High School, their work, and they were putting together a guide for the other students. And it was so, I guess the most, and when I observed that, the thing that was so critical that I thought was so important that they just nailed it, is they valued the personableness of every student in their school. They were working for their other students to be inclusive of those students and their personalities, and to make sure they were open to have all the students participate. And I just thought, wow, this is so fantastic. So they weren't just putting a guide together. They wanted to make sure they included every person on that campus, is all encompassing. And I was proud of that. And I told them that. I said, whether you make this lighthouse status or not, you're certainly working in the right direction. So I was really proud of the people at Pearl River High School. I'm sure all the high schools are doing that, but kudos.
And
Thank
I
you.
have to give a shout out to Pearl River. They are probably leading right now in high school, and it does take years to become a lighthouse team. And our the coach that works with us through Stephen Covey said that they probably can get it in like 2 years, and that's that's very.
It's amazing. I mean, we had about 30 kids working on different aspects of that guide. It was just phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is public comments. Ms. Barrios.
Lee Barrios, retired teacher. I wanted to point out something that was contained in a couple of the auditors' reports, which are actually on the last meeting, but I missed it because it was embedded in Mr. Broom's speech. They both regard confidentiality of employee records. One of them was pointing out that some schools were not properly keeping their just causes confidential, but that's not what I'm going to speak about. My point is that in his presentation or his report, he said regarding your school board policy CG, which is administrative records, he says, this policy states that any employee records are confidential. That's inaccurate. He also says related law, RS 4411, this statute states that personal records are confidential. That's inaccurate. The law actually states certain records, and it lists specific types of records, both personnel, well, this is personnel records. This is a problem, and your policy CG states school documents that are confidential, such as, and it lists some types of documents, and it also includes, quote, personnel folders, close quote. Personnel folders in toto are not confidential. There are public records that are contained in personnel folders. It has presented a problem for me on several instances when I've asked for public records requests of an item that I was told, well, that's in the personnel file, and therefore it's confidential, which is inaccurate. So that's an infraction of the public records law. So I'd like to get together with maybe Amanda and Mr. Bro and look through this, because I really believe you need to change your policy, and there needs to be an understanding that affects your public records policy also. Thank you.
Next, we have announcements. Ms. Fauntleroy.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Just a reminder that all of our sites are closed tomorrow, Friday, July 11th, and next Friday, July 18th, for summer hours. And we will have a board meeting here next Thursday night, July 17th at 6 p.m.
Thank you. With no further business, I declare this meeting adjourned.